on the road with the I Still Believe tour. Ted Nugent and his band, the Nigerian Rebels, invade Chicagoland Wednesday, July 20th at the House of Blues, and Saturday, July 30th at Chicago Ridge Fest. He's the number one master R&B guitar showman in the world and the undeniable premier defender of the hunting, fishing, trapping, and Second Amendment lifestyle. Please welcome Mr. Ted Nugent. Good morning, Ted.
Greetings, Mike. The barbecue czar reporting for duty, sir.
You love your barbecue.
I'm telling you what. Number one, thanks for celebrating this wonderful American rhythm and blues rock and roll dream by playing the coolest music in the world on your show, Mike. God bless you. And thanks for promoting this cherished and essential hands-on conservation lifestyle. The hunters, the fishermen, the trappers, people that understand that nature is a participatory management scheme. We salute you and thank you. And by the way, the pulse across this country, Mike, I just played the West Coast, San Diego, Los Angeles, Anaheim, up in San Francisco, up there in the extremely liberal parts of the country. Let me tell you, they all love hunting, fishing, trapping. They're all really let down when they see animal rights people and anti-hunting people destroy wildlife management. So the non-hunters, 99.9% of human beings in the world absolutely support and appreciate the success story of hunting, fishing, and trapping in this country. So never, ever, ever think that what the mainstream media intentionally misrepresents, that people are uncomfortable with killing deer and people are uncomfortable with poking slabs of flesh on the grill. That's just nonsense. People are killing and grilling and having the time of their life all across this world, and celebrate it, man.
Well, Ted, I have to say that it is you and your infiltration of mainstream media over the decades that you've done it, because now you're seeing TV channels like National Geographic showing fishermen, showing hunting. They're showing these swamp people who are...
And by the way, it's not just showing these natural, perfect conservation activities, because, again, we need to always remind people, because the education system of this country and the media, the information networks, for the most part, have made it a point to not only fail to deliver the information about tooth, fang, and claw and nature honesty, but they've gone out of their way to misrepresent it. So what you see in the Swamp People, and you see on A&E and Discovery Channel and Travel Channel, you see people celebrating that life comes from death. And I don't mean just a cursory review of it. We're showing, lions eating the young of the impala and the blood and the guts, because that's honest. We have to return, and the most important thing sportsmen in this country need to do is not just strategizing for a good kill and getting that buck and getting that venison and enjoying the outdoors, but to communicate on an everyday basis to everyone at school, church, work, hanging out, at family gatherings. Don't wait for the subject to come up. Bring up the subject, how beautiful this Thanksgiving turkey is, how wonderful these steaks are, and tell the children, do you know how it got here? We need to get more graphic. If you want to go right to the curse of the Mao Zedong fan club, the communists, the America haters that are infesting our government with the abuse of power and the corruption and the refusal to be accountable to their employers, we the people, it goes right to the source and the core that we the people have not educated our children about spending within your means, about how you need to be productive before you can be a consumer, how you need to understand that animals have to be raised in healthy environments, whether it's in the swamps or the farms of this world, so when we kill them and take their guts out and render them into family-sized portions by butchering them, that slaughtering animals is not bad. Slaughtering animals brings us life.
Right.
So these are the dynamics that you just mentioned that I've been doing since the 1960s. I've been attacked and condemned for doing so, but every time I'm attacked and condemned, have you noticed I just turn up the heat? The best thing you can do for quality of life is to attack and attempt to condemn Ted Nugent, because then I will get better and more visible and more energized to bring the truth forward. So the truth is that death brings us life. It's perfect.
Absolutely. And your analogy of how much blood is on the plate of salad is probably the most important argument for everybody to arm themselves with, as I have absolutely turned the mindset of vegans with Ted Nugent's easy, all the blood in your salad argument.
Well, again, it's not, there's not many people that need to hear that. Oh, the vast majority of humans are really bright. They're really smart. Most of them are smarter than I am. But political correctness, the curse of backing down, the curse of lying and fantasy and make-believe that you can just tell the children, no, honey, this nice cellophane-wrapped meat, that's actually came from the store. Nothing died here because there's no blood. See, and you can't hear any animals crying or squawking. That's such a dirty lie. So there is an element, particularly in the youth of America, that they need to be reminded that if you want a salad, I'll make you a damn salad. But in order to grow these vegetables for your salad, the man that we pay for the salad will take his giant John Deere tractor. He will dismember, mutilate, and destroy, kill, slaughter, not just the animals we might need for the meal, but they'll kill everything.
Right.
In that giant 50,000-acre field that used to be the home of songbirds and rabbits and squirrels and gophers and mice and turtles and frogs and snakes, all those animals, I know you're not going to eat them, but we're going to kill them anyway. We're going to kill them and cut them up, and then all the crows and the seagulls will follow the tractor to pick at the struggling, tortured carcasses of all the animals that you demanded so you could have some damn tofu.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, and like you said, you literally explain this. You don't have to get too, forceful because it's so simple. Only a deranged or LSD experimenting idiot would fail to grasp that for every leaf of lettuce, for every piece of tofu, millions and millions of animals have to be dismembered, sliced up, and then poisoned if they dare attempt to crawl out of that field. And once you explain it, you can see people's heads tilt, their eyes squint, their brow will furrow, and they go, oh, I never thought of that before. And Mike, that's what we're here to do.
Absolutely.
Make people think. Because if you go through life without examining your cause and effect and honestly admitting to your cause and effect, Mr. Judge, Mr. Prosecutor who lets child molesters out to molest children again, that judge and prosecutor is the child molester because he let him out. And now that we know that as conscientious, responsible consumers, tell Mr. Farmer, thank you. Thank you for slaughtering all those animals because I want some damn salad.
Right on.
And there's nothing wrong with that as long as we have Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the National Wild Turkey Federation, Delta Waterfowl, Pheasants Forever, Whitetails Unlimited, the National Grouse Society, Trout Unlimited, Quail Unlimited. All the hunting organizations have spent trillions and trillions of dollars to make sure that wild, productive biodiversity exists to not just grow our venison, not just to grow our grouse and squirrels, but to clean our air, soil, and water quality, which gives us quality of life, so that the farmers can continue to do God's work and feed the world. It's a damn good setup.
Ted Nugent's with us. Of course, he'll be at the House of Blues on Wednesday. And
who's going to stop me?
Chicago Ridge Fest on the 30th. You're infiltrating because Illinois needs you twice. There's no doubt about it.
God knows, Mike, if anybody needs me, it's the Belgians and the Illinoisans.
Yeah, and the Cubans.
And, this music, Greg Smith on bass guitar is one of God's greatest creations. Mick Brown on drums. I'm not even sure God knew what he was getting into there.
Insane.
But Mick and Greg bring a throttle to the American rhythm and blues that we all love, like no other rhythm section. If you haven't seen my band, and now with the addition of that incredible Motown soul voice of Derek St. Holmes, the master original vocalist on Stranglehold and Hey Baby and Just What the Doctor Ordered, this band is so powerful, so tight, so passionate, They are so gifted, and they put their heart and soul into every song, every lick, every jam, every concert, every night, all summer long. You haven't seen the ultimate American rhythm and blues rock and roll till you see the Ted Nugent Band in 2011.
Now, let me
These
tell you
guys
this.
ain't right.
No, let me tell you. I saw last year's Trample the Week, Hurdle the Dead tour, and I'm not even. I'm not.
It
even
was
joking.
the best ever.
I've known you for how many years? 15, 20 years, and I was actually worried about you, like actually exploding. It was the most intense, and I've seen thousands of rock concerts in my time. The most intense rock and roll experience of my life.
And unbelievably, Mike, you remember those veins that were on the veins on my forehead? The veins on my forehead have veins.
That's what I hear.
And they pop out and they actually beat people up.
They give people the finger. It's unbelievable.
But this year, what Derek and Mick and Greg, there's such a vitality. I'm sure it has a lot to do with the fact that the older you get, the more you celebrate every day. And when you get to play this kind of music for these kind of people who love the music like you do, your heart and soul grows muscles. The spirit expands. Your whole life becomes erect, if you know what I'm talking.
Oh, yeah.
And the people are so intense this year. And you magnify that by the fact that the greatest quality of life in the history of mankind, the United States of America, is being beat down by America haters in our government. There is a political component to the intensity of my music this year, because Great White Buffalo isn't just about a white buffalo on the canyon walls finding the battered herd and leading them across the land. It really is about Americans seeing that Americans are cannibalizing and inbreeding themselves, and there's a whole lot of great white buffalo metaphors out there.
Amen.
Where we the people, we see the battered herd, and our strong eyes do glow, and we found the battered herd, and we're going to lead them across the land. I'm telling you, there is an emotional vibrosity and intensity to my music this year like none I've ever felt before. Stranglehold is the ultimate soundtrack of American defiance, and that song has a life of its own this year.
All right. Well, you've championed the common sense and patriotic vision of Texas Governor Rick Perry for years, and now it looks as though he may be leading this battered herd.
I had a good talk with the good governor. He is the greatest governor in the nation. Texas is the greatest state in the nation, not to be confused with Illinois, that doesn't produce squat.
No, we produce criminals, and we elect them to office.
Yes, it produces corrupt bureaucrats and Mao Zedong fans. And I'm saying that only the guilty need to feel the guilty, because Illinois residents, like I've always said, as much as I despise the corruption and the dishonesty and the abuse of power as Mayor Richard Daley, there is no question that somehow, by the grace of God, Chicago is my favorite city in the world.
Right.
I bring my family there just to eat, for God's sake, and to hang out with good, clean, positive, friendly, neighborly, loving people. So that being said, Illinois, like every state, is loaded with working hard, playing hard, productive, conscientious people of goodwill and decency who still put their heart and soul into every waking moment to be the best that they can be. It's alive and well in Illinois. But Illinois doesn't produce jobs. Texas produces more jobs than all the other 49 states combined. My governor, Rick Perry, shoots coyotes when he's jogging downtown in the state capitol.
Yes, he does.
These are indicators. These are indicators of presidential material. So I pray, and the minute I find out that Governor Perry will run for president, and I sincerely pray every night, because America needs Rick Perry right now. But ultimately, America needs to get rid of the America haters in the White House.
And they're breeding like rats.
It's really catastrophic. I've never seen such suicide, such a spiritual and social and economic intentional engineered suicide in all my life.
Very calculated.
Well, when you have a president who refuses to be accountable, knows that for every food stamp that is used for proper nutrition for a needy person, there's probably 5 to 10 million people buying methamphetamine and Twinkies. It's vulgar, it's obscene, it's anti-human, it's anti-nature, it's anti-spirit, and we have the perfect president for anti-America, and we've got to get this Chicago punk community organizer who is intentionally destroying the American economy, intentionally rewarding slovenliness and gluttony, and punishing entrepreneurial productivity. I've never imagined such stupidity could exist. In fact, I'm sure you've read it, but everyone should go to WashingtonTimes.com. And I've written a piece that I do every week, and my current one is the best thing I've ever written.
Another masterpiece.
Titled, "You Have the Right to Remain Stupid."
Yeah.
It's really catastrophic. But we, the people, are growing some horns, and we're taking this country back. So God bless the activists out there, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. And your ideology is absolutely what the doctor ordered. And the word ideology has become taboo because the left now has demanded that we abandon hope, we abandon ideology and hopes and dreams, and settle for the status quo. And if there's one person swinging an axe at the status quo, it's Ted Nugent.
Well, I hate all things status quo. Show me a rule, and I'll show you how to fix it.
Right.
There's a common sense that's both common and sensible pulse in this country where people care how they affect their family and their neighbors. And that's how the Nugent Band, that's how the Nugent family, that's how the Tomano family, that's how my Sunrise Safaris, Blood Brothers, that's how all my hunting buddies, that's how all my cop friends, all my welders and carpenters and plumbers and electricians and mechanics, everybody I hang out with, they dedicate themselves to be a positive force. They don't want to take anything. They want to produce, save for a rainy day, live within their means, and be there, ready to go, aware of their surroundings, cognizant of their cause and effect, so they can be of benefit to their families, their fellow man, the good Mother Earth in the United States of America. That is alive and well, but we have a president who doesn't believe in those things.
Absolutely. And people like you and the hardworking families, we have places to go to feed ourselves. One of them is tednugent.com, the talkback. Another one is your books that you've put out. People think, Ted Nugent, rock and roller. The Ted Nugent Manifesto, Ted White and Blue, is a blueprint for having a radar tuned in to asinine behavior in this country. And thank God it's still in print and out there and infiltrating families every day.
Well, thanks, Mike. I do get a lot of correspondence. We have an incredible communication at tednugent.com. We have some wonderful warriors at tednugent.com, talkback. And my books, again, I'm just a guitar player, but damn it, I believe I have to earn my right to be an experimenter in self-government. I have to earn my right to be an American by participating in this sacred experiment, self-government, every day. And that includes guitar players and bow hunters, and that's me.
Right.
So I have always been an activist. The politicians know what my family represents. They know what Ted Nugent believes in and what I demand of my employees, who are the politicians. And what Ted White and Blue, the Nugent Manifesto, and God, Guns, and Rock and Roll, and even Kill It and Grill It, even though it's supposedly a cookbook, my book, Kill It and Grill It, outlines that quality of life comes from quality of awareness, dedication to a higher level of awareness, and once again, that simple duty to be aware of your cause and effect, whether you're stalking a deer or jamming with a guitar or welding a frame for a dump truck so you can do the best job for your neighborhood. These elements are celebrated every day in my life, and again, not just me. I learn from smarter people, way smarter than I am, but I'm lucky to be able to put it into words on humanevents.com, certainly tednugent.com, WashingtonTimes.com, in my various books, and that they've actually attained the status of New York Times bestsellers is proof that anybody can do anything.
Right.
So all I can say is thank you for helping promote this truth, and thanks everybody out there for who have bought all the books, Ted White and Blue and God, Guns, and Rock and Roll. I've also got a bow hunting book called Blood Trails, The Truth About Bow Hunting.
Incredible.
So I do what I can. The American education system intentionally left out all the important stuff. The average kid graduating from high school can't read, write, or talk properly. They can't even pull their pants up properly. And so the education void, thanks to the education unions of this country, who are not interested in educating children, they're interested in more sick days paid. Mm-hmm. So I try to fill the gap when I see insufficiency, inequity, ineptitude, and slovenliness celebrated out there, and I want to thank everybody for helping. And if you go to my website, you'll see that people are really getting an attitude, really growing some attitude out there.
You know, the great outdoors lifestyle is paramount in my life, and without it, I could not live. And so when I look at you leading the fight for the great outdoors, I have to say, here's a guy who's a rock star, who, when you're approaching a television show about hunting or fishing, you could probably hunt anywhere in the world and for anything that you wanted. Yet here's Ted Nugent celebrating yanking bluegills out of the pond with his kids, or a doe cull on your land. Do you think the trophy hunting emphasis or the fishing tournament sentiment out there is hurting us in the long run?
I don't think it's hurting us, because there's always been an unlimited passion and appreciation of any endeavor in life. And I think that the reason Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild TV show is #1 on Outdoor Channel is what you just referenced, Mike. People, the 99% of the hunters and the fishermen out there, they just want to get some meat.
Yeah.
They want to get out there and cleanse the soul. I mean, the term recreation is about recreating your energy, recreating your spirit, recreating your soul after working really, really hard to provide for your family and be an asset to your fellow man. And after all that work, you need to recreate.
Right.
That's what recreation is. So, yeah, we want to get out there and we want to absorb the spirit of the great outdoors, and we want to witness the always soul-cleansing encounter with the animals and the birds and the barometer, for that matter. But yes, we hunt to get meat. And when I shoot that little buck or that little doe, or bust a squirrel when I'm deer hunting, or catch a little 4-inch bluegill and find a way to get a little slab of meat off of it with my pocket knife.
Right.
People appreciate that, because that's the ultimate responsible, wise, and respectful use of God's renewable resources. Then there's the other side, who I also admire, and that has a legitimate role, and that is those that will catch and release till they get one for the wall, or maybe they just like to catch them. I don't understand that. Why would you even go fishing? You know, get some meat out of the deal.
I'm right with you.
But I'm glad that they do that, and I think we learn a lot about how to better utilize resources and recreational opportunities by the guys who pass up deer after moose after elk, because they're just not big enough for them. I salute those guys for their incredible predatorship skills, their discipline, their patience, but the majority of hunters relate to Uncle Ted. We like to whack them and stack them and kill some deer, and there's not a wildlife agency in this country, in every state in this nation, that doesn't need more people hunting and more deer killed. So that's what I celebrate.
Yes, and your hunting and fishing time increases every year. How was your season this year?
I'm telling you, I can hardly stand it. I've never, growing up in Michigan, hunting with Fred Bear with my recurve bow in the 1950s, 1960s, you struggle to even see a deer, much less get one within bow range.
Right.
Well, Mike, I've made up for that. I kill hundreds of deer a year with my bow and arrow in the different states that I hunt. There's permits where I hunt in Michigan and Texas for all practical purposes. There is no limit on does. And in Texas, there's no limit, because landowners choose their own harvest quotas based on sustained yield, the science of wildlife management. So I get to hunt 275, 280 days a year, and I kill a lot of deer. Mm-hmm. But mostly, I celebrate, as I have with you, Mike, many times. Even though I love to kill deer, and I love a good arrow, and I love shooting that squirrel and that rabbit, and I love the waterfowl hunting with my Labrador retrievers, the most powerful force in my quality of life is to be invited to campfires with the heroes of the U.S. military and their families, who just want to go hunting with Uncle Ted, get a little barbecue, shoot some machine guns, and celebrate the spirit of the wild with those that have sacrificed their legs and their arms and their eyeballs and their skins, the heroes of the U.S. military that make freedom available to us and make the freedom to go hunting and fishing available to those of us that cherish it. So the most important hunting in my life is with special needs kids, terminally ill kids, and the families and the heroes of the U.S. military. That's what drives my quality of life.
You're right. You're right. You know, the annual Rock and Sunrise camp out that I hold annually and biannually since 1998, we looked at what we did yesterday, and we're getting ready for August 26th and 27th for our Ram Slam in Michigan. We have introduced 40-something people to the absolute heaven that awaits them in the great outdoors, the Sunrise Safari, since 1998. People who would have never thought about hunting before. So thank you for that place.
That's true. That's probably the greatest thing, too, is that there are so many deer. There are still states that waste tax dollars hiring people to kill our deer, and then they don't let the hunters kill enough of them, which is it's just phenomenally irresponsible and corrupt of the bureaucracies. But the celebration, the positive, is that more and more people are discovering the mystical flight of the arrow, the soul-cleansing hunting lifestyle. And I'm so proud. I'm not only proud that Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild is the #1 show on the Outdoor Channel, but we have more new viewers and more non-hunting viewers than all the others combined. And I get an email multiple times every day from people who have discovered bow hunting and fishing and the outdoor lifestyle, get themselves a nice sniper rifle, maybe a .22 for their sons and daughters, and they go out plinking on the weekend on state land or at their grandpa's farm. I'm telling you, the recruitment celebration is causing Wayne Pacelli much anguish. The animal rights people and the Humane Society of the United States and these deceptive smoke and mirrors, corrupt, dishonest Ponzi schemes of so-called animal rights organizations, we drive them batty because we're expanding the hunting, fishing, outdoor lifestyle community. We're recruiting people to the pure nourishment, the ultimate nourishment of venison and wild game. So, yeah, continue on, Mike Tomano. Keep bringing those people to Michigan and Sunrise Acres, and let's whack and stack some good barbecue every chance we can.
Absolutely. I look forward to it every year, and this year we've got some great people coming with us. If you want to join us, call my man Paul Wilson at 800-343-4868 and tell him you want to go on the Tomano Ram Slam in August. So
yeah, plus they can, I don't know if Paul appreciates this, but they can always do an email at paul@tednugent.com.
Yeah.
Paul and Jim and Toby, everybody at Sunrise Acres and Sunrise Safaris, they're just like my band and my crew and my family and my friends. They are the best of the best. You go hunting with my team, you'll want to do it as often as possible.
Absolutely.
Because they're the best there is.
It is an absolute riot. People who have never stepped outside of the pavement have gone with me on this and said that's the best time I've ever had.
Yeah, they literally get emotional about it because it really, the reason my show is called Spirit of the Wild is because all you have to do is get out there, take a deep breath, get away from the concrete jungle, hell hand-to-hand combat zone of the modern city, escape that stress of modern-day productivity, and take a deep breath, look to the heavens, feel that wind, see that bird, hear that bird, anticipate the arrival of the beast. And I'm telling you, there is no IRS, there's no Nancy Pelosi, there's no fraud, there's no corruption, there's no Obama, there's no abuse of power, there's no, evil America haters infesting our government. There is nothing but perfection when you're in the great outdoors.
Yes, indeed. Ted Nugent, Spirit of the Wild on the Outdoor Channel. It gets better every year. You are really increasing your bear hunting, too. You love those rug stakes.
I love the rug stakes versus pissed off as Americanas.
If you want to hunt with Ted Nugent, go to tednugent.com as well. There's all kinds of hunts throughout the year. You accomplish more in 1 week than most in a lifetime. Always a pleasure to have you on, Mr. Ted Nugent.
Mike, back at you, man. God bless you and what you're doing with the programs and celebrating and promoting. We never, ever have to defend our right to keep and bear arms. We do not have to defend our hunting, fishing, and trapping rights. They are as pure as breath and life itself. What we need to do is celebrate them and promote them to everyone, everywhere, every day. And we thank you for doing that.
Amen. Ted Nugent with us and the House of Blues on Wednesday. And then the following week, over a week from Saturday, the 30th at Chicago Ridge Fest. Always a great time to see the band. Now with Derek St. Holmes, it will be Afros on Fire. That's what we call it. And one of your biggest fans is Mike's side here. Leah, say hello to Uncle Teddy.
Hi, Uncle Ted.
Hi, Leah. I love you. Are you 8 now?
Yes.
I love you. Did you get your machine gun that I got you? I got a new pink machine gun for Leah.
Awesome.
Hooray for Uncle Ted.
Yeah, well, we got a big hunt planned, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Ask Uncle Ted his advice.
I'm going squirrel hunting next week. And what advice do you have?
Well, the most important thing, Leah, is follow your mom and dad's direction. your dad knows all about quality of the outdoor experience. So if you just go real slow, it's important just sometimes not to even walk, just to go up against a tree and stop and look and listen and take a deep breath and see what you can see what you can hear. And then when you're sure that nothing's watching you, very slowly work to that next tree and stop and maybe even sit a while and just listen and look and feel the spirit and watch the wildlife and see how they act. Watch how the birds move. Watch how the squirrels move. Watch how that deer moves through the woods. And just watching them will teach you not only how to better encounter them and maybe get them for the grill, but ultimately it'll teach you to be a better student, a better American, a better person, a better athlete, a better just dancer, a better guitar player. So ultimately, Leah, the best thing about hunting is to go slow and easy and absorb all that spirit you can when you're out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you.
I love you, Uncle Ted.
I hope to see you out there. I'll gut your ear for you with my front teeth.
I love you.
I love you, Leah. See you soon, honey. Good luck.
Bye.
Ted Nugent, be well. We'll see you on the trails, and keep going with that spirit of the wild. We need you now more than ever, brother.
Godspeed, Mike. Godspeed, Leah. I love you.
Love you too.
Happy barbecue day every day.
Woo!
Barack.